Hi folks, and so for today's video, we're going over the top 10 states with the lowest life expectancy. So let's get started. So number 10, it is Georgia. So the life expectancy in Georgia is 77.2 years. And for white people living in Georgia, it is 77.6 years. And for African Americans living in Georgia, it is 74.7 years. And for Asian Americans living in Georgia, it is 88.0 years. Okay. So number 9, it is South Carolina. So life expectancy in South Carolina is 77 years. For white people living in South Carolina, it is 77.8 years. For African Americans living in South Carolina, it is 74.0 years. Okay. So number 8 is Tennessee. So life expectancy in Tennessee is 76.3 years. And for white people living in Tennessee, it is 76.7 years. For African Americans living in Tennessee, it is 72.9 years, and for Asian Americans living in Tennessee, it is 84.2 years. So at number 7, it is Kentucky. So the life expectancy in Kentucky is 76.0 years. So for white people living in Kentucky, it is also 76.0 years. For African Americans living in Kentucky, it is 73.5 years. Okay. So number 6 is Arkansas. So the life expectancy in Arkansas is also 76.0 years. Yeah, 76.0 years, okay. So for white people living in Arkansas, it is also, it's 76.3 years. And for African Americans living in Arkansas, it is 72.2 years. At number 5, it is Oklahoma. So the life expectancy in Oklahoma is 75.9 years. So for white people living in Oklahoma, it is 76.0 years. For African Americans living in Oklahoma, it is 72.8 years, and for Latinos living in Oklahoma, it is 85.0 years. And also for Native Americans living in Oklahoma, it is 73.8 years. Okay. So number 4, is Louisiana. So life expectancy in Louisiana is 75.7 years. So for white people living in Louisiana, it is 76.7 years. For African Americans living in Louisiana, it is 72.4 years, and for Asian Americans living in Louisiana, it is 85.6 years. So at number 3, it is Alabama. So life expectancy in Alabama is 75.4 years, and for white people living in Alabama, it is 76.0 years. For African Americans living in Alabama, it is 72.9 years, and for Asian Americans living in Alabama, it is 85.3 years. So number 2, it is West Virginia. So the life expectancy in West Virginia is 75.4 years. So for white people living in West Virginia, it is 75.4 years. For African Americans living in West Virginia, it is 72.8 years. And at number 1, it is Mississippi. So the life expectancy in Mississippi is 75.0 years. So for white people living in Mississippi, it is 76.1 years. And for African Americans living in Mississippi, it is 72.4 years. Okay, so that's it for today's video. But before I go, just let you know my Twitter handle is in the description below. So if you have any suggestions for future videos, just tweet at me. So okay, so bye.